What's up guys, welcome back to CS2 Daily. I hope you're all having a great day. We've got a bunch of roster and scene updates to get through today. Astralis have officially been acquired. MIBR are already dealing with disciplinary issues around their new AWPer Klim. Nemiga have made a new coaching switch as Box takes a step back. And we'll wrap up with the Mongols, who could hit #1 in the Valve World Rankings if they win their first 2 games at FISSURE Belgrade. Let's get straight into it. So let's kick things off with a massive headline. Astralis has officially been acquired by Fusion Esports Group, and this isn't just some random investment fund. The group is being led by Astralis' original co-founder along with a former executive from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Basically, it's the return of familiar faces who know the CS scene inside out. This comes after months of speculation about Astralis' future. We heard all the reports earlier this year: missed majors, financial trouble, layoffs, even doubts in their own financial statements about whether the org could keep going without new backing. But now Fusion Esports has stepped in with a mix of local entrepreneurs and Christensen himself, calling Astralis one of the biggest brands in esports and promising to rebuild with fresh energy. And honestly, this is coming at the perfect time. Astralis already made waves by benching Staven and bringing Magisk back, plus they've been trending upwards under Hooksy, actually looking like they might have finally ended that brutal major drought in Budapest. From my point of view, this move feels like Astralis trying to reconnect with what made them great in the first place. Fresh ownership, familiar leadership, and a roster that's finally showing some teeth again. Their debut under the new banner is coming up on September the 12th against Aurora, and if they start strong, it will be a hell of a statement for Astralis. So yeah, really interested. Next up, we've got some serious roster news coming out of Brazil. MIBR have had to issue a disciplinary sanction to their new AWPer Klim after he called a Chilean teammate a monkey during a FACEIT match. While Klim claimed the word might carry a different meaning in his culture, in South America that term is loaded with racist connotations, and MIBR were quick to make it clear they won't tolerate that kind of behavior. The team announced he's being placed into a racial and cultural literacy program focused on Brazil's history and social issues. They also made it crystal clear if this happens again, he's done. Klim did publicly apologize on X, stressing there was no racist intent and that he's committed to learning more about Brazilian culture. He says here, during a match I used a word that rightly generated a strong reaction. I want to be completely transparent about what happened. In the heat of a trash talk exchange, I responded with a term that I know now that it has historical significance in Brazil. While in my culture this word is often used as a generic insult, I understand that its impact is completely unacceptable. There was no racist intent on my part, and I apologize to anyone I offended. I recognize that intention does not erase the effect of the words, and I understand the gravity of what was said. In addition to the measures my organization is taking, I am personally committed to educating myself about Brazilian culture and history. So yeah, honestly, that's the right step forward, but at the same time, MIBR couldn't just sweep this under the rug. They've been rebuilding their image with these international signings, and letting something like this slide would have been disastrous for the brand. And it's one of those messy situations where intent and impact don't line up, even if he didn't mean it in the way it came across. Words carry weight, and when you're playing under a legendary name like MIBR, you're held to a, high standard. So yeah, not the best first impressions from Klim, to be completely honest. Over in Nemiga, there's been a big shift on the sidelines. Head coach Box is stepping away for a break, and in his place, the team have brought in Zoma, who you might remember from his time with Nine Pandas and Virtus Pro. He's stepping in to lead the team while Box takes his break. Nemiga tweet out here: throughout last year, our schedule was quite a busy one. Long flights, online and offline tournaments, intense boot camps, and daily trainings. That type of life requires one's physical and emotional health to be constantly tested. That's why at a certain point, taking a pause is inevitable. Box asked us for a break, and we accepted his request without any doubt. We understand such step as a manifestation of self and team responsibility. Dear Gaffer, take your time and come back renewed and sharp. So that's really nice of Nemiga. The org has just explained it pretty simply. The grind of constant travel, online matches, boot camps, and day-to-day prep eventually takes its toll. And I think it's fair. Burnout is real, especially in a scene where schedules barely give you time to breathe. Zoma, meanwhile, hasn't been active since June when Astron played their final event. But he's got plenty of experience under his belt, and the Nemiga probably need that right now. They're sitting 28th in the Europe VRS, more than 200 points shy of the Budapest major qualification zone, and they just lost Sway, who was a key piece for them. Sawalio has stepped in as his replacement, but it's still a rocky period. The timing is rough too, with two lands right around the corner, the Betclic Clash Summer in Gdansk and a Majestic Landerland in Moscow. It feels like these events are make or break for Nemiga to get back on track. Personally, I'm curious whether Zoma can steady the ship or if this roster is going to drift further away from the major race. Time will tell, and we'll just have to wait and see. So before we wrap things up, here's a cool little stat I saw floating around. If the Mongols win their first two matches at FISSURE Belgrade, they'll actually climb up to #1 in the Valve World Rankings. That would be absolutely huge for them, because not only are they coming off that Esports World Cup win, but it would also cement them as the top dogs heading into the Budapest major cycle. Honestly, it just shows how insane their rise has been this year. Not long ago they were still considered underdogs, and now we're talking about them potentially being ranked #1 in the world, which is absolutely insane to think about. But yeah, a bit of a short one today, but tomorrow things properly kick off again with the start of FISSURE Playground 2. We'll be covering all the action once the games get underway, so make sure you're here for that, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care.